Okay, let's take a look and see what we have going on. I was hoping to see a little more in-depth images. This is basically somebody shooting out on a court. They look like standard snapshots. There's nothing really created here. You need to concentrate much more on the technical aspects of your work. Also, besides the composition, we see all wires, we see lights, we see fences, we see a lot of things in the background that are really not contributing to the overall shot. You can see you're in mixed lighting. We call this dappled lighting. And you see the shadows and the sunlight, and her face is half in shadow, and it's light here, it's dark here, you got highlights. This is the kind of lighting you want to avoid at all costs. Okay, if you're going to do this, you're going to need a fill flash, to compensate for that. If you're shooting just like this, you need to meter here and then recompose your shot. Press that exposure lock button, which is the little star button on most cameras. That's your exposure lock. Then you go back and you recompose with the metering numbers that you already have. So that's what you're going to need to do. Here we're just looking at all snapshots. I would hope that you would have reshot this assignment because it's looking as though you just went out to complete the assignment just to get it done. And that's not what I want you to do. I want you to take your time. I want you to think this through. I want you to make a shot list. Environmental portrait, yes. Like I said before, athletes are going to be very difficult unless you are at a college or a professional training center somewhere. But a backyard court like this, this really does not work well. We can see that she's trying to do some stretching or push-ups here a little bit, but handstands, stuff like this. Here again, we're all in dappled lighting. There's no controlled lighting whatsoever on any of the images. Everything is just shot basically as is. Nothing is controlled, and that's what you want to work on. I want you to do much better with this. We see here she's up in the air in dappled lighting again, but my eye, I'm going to zoom out on this a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to take a look at this. Now we see her here, and we see the basket up there. Do we really need that in there? Probably not. I would probably just cropped it down much tighter or shot from a different angle, so you got her and that. You do have some of the face, which is good. You have her off the ground. Your shutter speed's looking okay to an extent. If we look at the ball, you start seeing that blurriness up there on the ball. Okay, that's where your shutter speed and the hands are a little bit blurred. But it does show motion. The good thing is that this is not in motion, and it is crisp. Same thing here applies. We have wires sticking out of there. We got, looks like she's wearing a hat. Thing coming out the top, but all the wires and everything is coming right out. You can see that. That's what you don't want to do. It's the same thing that you get if you shoot a wedding and you look at the pictures and the bride, beautiful shot, and all of a sudden you see a branch coming out of the bride's head. You got to look at the backgrounds at all times. Okay, it looks like this thing, this fence post is going right back in here. There's so much going on that you really don't know where to look or what to look at. They're both laughing, not really showing too much of a serious athlete. So you're going to have to work on this area. As a former editor, I would reject the whole set of contact sheets and the images that you're submitting here. Again, dappled lighting, no controlled lighting, background's busy. Blur the background, open up, and you say you're at F, it looks like F18. Well, if you're going to do something like this in a portrait mode, you should be at almost f2.0 or at 2.8, 1.8, 4.0, whatever your lens goes to, at the widest setting to blur out your background so we don't see that fence, so we don't see everything in there. I would like you to reshoot this. I think you need another subject rather than doing the athlete, because I don't think the athlete is going to work out for the final project. Like I said, you should always have backups and backups and backups, and there's a reason for that. Now you shot this. You can see that this is really not working the way it should. You need to put a lot more effort into the controlling of the lighting, fill flash, whatever else you need to get this accomplished. Okay, take a look here. Same thing, all the captions, basically the same thing. And even here, I would probably crop this so I don't have that sign in here, that stop sign. I know we have the net, but you need to crop these things out that are not really contributing to your images. Okay? Looking at this, I would say I would actually go back and reshoot, or I would actually rethink about what I'm going to use for the main subject matter as far as the environmental portraits are. It does work as an environmental portrait. Yes, it does. I will accept that. It does work in environmental portrait. She is outside. She's in her environment. She's shooting everything, but it's not controlled enough to look like regular snapshots.